Learning goal 36, solving problems using order of operations. You may have heard order of operations mentioned as bed mass before. I'm going to use the term order of operations instead of bed mass. Now, to solve problems, there's often a set order of things that need to be done. Okay, an example of this would be, per se, getting to school in the morning. First thing you gotta do is you gotta wake up. Second thing you gotta do, well, I mean, there's maybe some variation there, but you probably need to get dressed, maybe have breakfast, get your stuff together, and then afterwards you get to the bus. That third thing is getting to the bus. Number 4 is taking the bus ride to school. Number 5 is getting to your class. Okay, there's some variation in that way, but there is an order that has to be done. You can't get on the bus before you get awake or wake up. At least most people can't. In mathematics, we call it order of operations. That means that certain operations need to be done first before other operations can be done afterwards. Now, to solve a problem in math, certain operations, again, like I said, must be done first, okay, while other operations must come after. Now, the operations that we're going to be dealing with are going to fall into 4 categories. Okay, the first one is something called parentheses. Parentheses. Okay, these are often called brackets. Okay, and they deal the same as brackets, and you may have seen that in the past. Okay, what we need to do is we need to complete the operations inside each set of brackets or parentheses, and then the answer, okay, will be placed back in the same location as the brackets were. Okay, and we'll go through some examples of this. So if you're not totally sure, that's okay. Now, any operations in the numerator or denominator of a fraction, okay, can be considered as they are in brackets as well. And again, we're going to take a look at that a little bit later as well. So parentheses are first. Next step is exponents. Okay, an exponent is a power on a certain number of operation. These need to be done after parentheses are done, and we're going to talk more about powers later on in the course, and we'll go through it very basically here in class in this lesson as well. All right, after that we have multiply and divide. Okay, these two are to be done together from left to right. So whatever order they come up in, if it's multiply first and then divide, or divide first then multiply, okay, they need to be done from left to right. Again, after each operation is done, we use that answer to solve the next operation. Finally, number 4 is, sorry, I'd like to change the pen color, I guess, is add and subtract. Okay, and this is, we again solve each pair from left to right. When a pair of numbers is solved, that answer replaces the operation, okay, in the equation. So it just replaces it. We change it up, we replace it, and then we kind of go on from there. So let's take a look at adding and subtracting. So each addition and subtraction operation must be again done from left to right. When an operation has been completed, we replace the operation with the answer. So here we have 6 plus 3 plus 7. We have 2 operations. We have an adding and we have a subtracting. Now, because they're in the same kind of area, they're both in that add and subtract part of the order operations, we do them together from left to right. This one's on the left, so we start with this addition right here. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 9, all it does is it replaces the 6 and the 3 in the operation. You'll notice that 6 plus 3, we've just replaced it. It's now 9. There's minus 7. We keep in exactly the same location. Next step, then we complete the next one here. 9 minus 7 is just 2. And so this equals 2. Okay, and that's how we can write it out. Now, I would ask that you would kind of show what you're doing in these steps. Some are going to be maybe a little bit more straightforward than others, okay? But please show the steps that you are doing in solving these problems. This next one here, you'll notice has a subtraction, has an adding, and it has another subtraction. Again, they're all adding and subtracting, so they're together, so we do them in order. Okay, 17 minus 3 is 14. And then this is plus 16 minus 12. Then we do this one here, 14 plus 16 is 30 minus 12. And if we complete that, it is 18. Okay, so once we've done that, or once we've kind of gone through step by step, we can come up with our final answer right there. Now, if we put in some negatives as well, that can change things around. So we have two operations. We have a subtracting and we have an adding. Remember, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. So we start with this one. 6 plus 5 is 11 plus negative 7. And then we're adding a negative. So we do this next, and this is 4. And so this all equals 4, and that is our final answer. Again, do this one first, and then we do this operation second, using our result as part of that right there. Final step, or final one here, we have fractions. Okay, now fractions are a little bit more difficult, but what we're going to do is, again, try to we have to always keep a common denominator when we're adding and subtracting. We have a subtracting first, then an add. So we're going to start by subtracting these. 1/2 is the same as 3 over 6 minus 1 over 6. Okay, and this is going to give us an answer of 2 over 6. Okay, plus 2/3. And then, so when we put these together, this one can actually be simplified to 1/3 plus 2/3, and this equals 3 over 3, or 1. Okay, so we do this subtraction first, then we take that answer and put it in here, and we solve this one. Now, if you want to keep the 2 over 6 here and change this one to 4 over 6, you're going to get a final answer of 6 over 6. You can do that. It's still going to give you 1. You don't have to simplify inside of the equation. You just need to simplify once you've gotten to the answer. Okay, so if you want to keep it unsimplified, you can definitely do that and kind of leave it the way it is to start. The other way to do this one here would have been to change them all to a common denominator. So we'd have 3 over 6 minus 1 over 6 plus 4 over 6. We would do 3 minus 1, which is 2, plus 4, which is 6. So this is 6 over 6, or 1. That's another way that we could have done it. Okay, make them all common denominators right off the bat. But again, that's only with adding and subtracting. As soon as you get multiplying and dividing, we don't need a common denominator. It's just when we're adding and subtracting. Please do questions 1 and 2 on adding and subtracting. Question 1 is dealing with adding and subtracting integers. Question 2 is dealing with adding and subtracting fractions.